Whether you work in a hospital or an industrial setting such as a pharmaceutical company, medical device manufacturing, or research facility, ensuring that instruments, medical devices, and equipment are sterile is critical. Medical professionals frequently work with self-contained biological indicators, or SCBIs, in order to monitor critical sterilization processes. Indicators that are self-contained reduce the risk of cross-contamination and subsequent false positive. In this video, we'll be demonstrating the correct way to activate and incubate your SCBIs. Crosstex offers SCBIs for monitoring steam, hydrogen peroxide, and ethylene oxide processes. For steam sterilization, Crosstex offers SporeView 10 or SporeView 24 SCBIs. We also offer SporeView SCBIs for hydrogen peroxide sterilization. Regardless of which sterilization process you use, each SCBI contains similar components. The SCBI consists of a plastic vial containing a glass or glass-like vial on the inside. This inner vial is filled with nutrient-rich fluid, which is the medium for spore growth. After being processed in a sterilization cycle, this inner vial or ampule requires activation or crushing in order to allow the growth medium inside to come into contact with the inoculated carrier located at the bottom of each SCBI. The vial also contains a spore disc or strip, a carrier which has been inoculated with live microorganisms. When the spore carrier comes into contact with the growth media under the proper incubation conditions for the specific organism, we can determine that the conditions for sterilization have been met. Regardless of what sterilization process is being utilized in your facility, the SCBIs should be used in compliance with state and federal regulations, as well as your internally established exposure conditions and cycle parameters where applicable. After the SCBIs have been processed in a sterilizer and allowed to cool, each unit must be activated by crushing the inner vial. This can be accomplished by pressing the vials towards each other or through the use of a crushing tool. If your incubator has a built-in vial crusher, simply place the vial vertically into the opening and gently tip the SCBI to the side. In most cases, an audible pop can be heard when the media ampule breaks. During the activation process, remember to follow these two guidelines. First, always maintain the SCBI in an upright position. If the liquid growth media within the SCBI vial comes into contact with the filter located at the top of the cap, this could lead to false positives. Shaking, dropping, or inverting the activated vial at any time during the incubation could cause the filter paper in the cap to become saturated, potentially leading to contamination. Second, visually ensure that the inoculated carrier or spore disc is fully covered by the liquid growth media. If it's not fully covered, gently tap the unit on the benchtop while keeping the vial upright. This motion will move the media to the bottom of the SCBI. In addition to your processed SCBIs, an unprocessed control indicator will also be needed. Simply activate or crush an SCBI which has not been processed or sterilized to serve as the positive control. It's imperative that the unprocessed control has the same lot number as the processed SCBI. Use one test indicator and one control indicator for every sterilizer in your office. Once the media ampule inside the vial has been crushed, the SCBIs should be incubated. SCBIs for monitoring steam and hydrogen peroxide processes contain the Geobacillus styrothermophilus microorganism. This microorganism must be incubated at 55 to 60 degrees Celsius in order for the bacteria to grow. Regardless of the type of incubator being used, ensure that the incubator is set to the appropriate temperature and that the incubator has reached the set point prior to initiating the incubation process. Place the processed SCBIs that have been activated along with the activated control vial into incubation. In this demonstration, the SCBIs are being incubated in a dry heat style incubator. Convection style incubators set to the appropriate growth temperature may also be used. Incubate the SCBIs for the minimum incubation period outlined on the instructions for use. If extended incubation is required, Please note that a cap may be placed onto the individual SCBIs to aid in slowing the media evaporation rate. After incubation, interpret the results. The control vial should be checked first to ensure the expected results were obtained. The positive control, which was not processed or exposed to sterilization, should result in a yellow-colored media. This indicates that the spores grew. Next, check your test SCBIs. An SCBI that was processed in the autoclave or sterilizer should remain purple because that indicates there was no spore growth and that the sterilization cycle was effective and the test passes. If the SCBIs are yellow in color, this means that the spore grew and that the sterilization cycle was not effective and the test fails. What happens if your control SCBI fails and the media does not turn yellow? If the positive control does not show a yellow color, this would indicate there is an issue with the incubation process and the entire test is not valid. If your control vial doesn't change to yellow, either the temperature requirement for growth of the microorganism was not met, the growth media was not in contact with the spores. If the test SCBI vials that were exposed or processed change to yellow, this indicates spore growth, which means the sterilization cycle was not effective. If a test vial turns yellow, there are a few possible explanations. The failure could be the result of an issue with the exposure process, such as a mechanical error with the autoclave or sterilizer, or the vials may not have been exposed for a sufficient length of time. For questions and concerns about processing your SCBIs, call the Crosstex Infection Control Helpline to speak directly with an expert clinician.